Hello everyone! Today is more of a craft adjacent video than an actual crafting video. I'm going to be conducting a little bit of an experiment today. Recently I got a cold, which is more of a big deal in COVID times than it was before, because now when you get a cold you have to really verify that you don't have COVID. And I took a COVID test. I didn't have COVID. And I took my temperature. And I didn't have a fever. But I had to go buy another thermometer recently because my old faithful thermometer finally died on me. It lasted like 5 years. The battery in it lasted 5 years. And I couldn't find the battery in a quick trip to the pharmacy. So I just bought a new thermometer. But it made me curious. So it's also really cold outside right now. We're in January, which is the real onset of winter. I don't think I said the right word there, but who cares? Anyway, and I often, in order to get warm, I put on blankets and I put on sweaters, and it made me realize humans are warm-blooded, so that means our body temperature is supposed to stay the same year-round, unlike a reptile where they're cold-blooded, their temperature is literally affected by their surroundings. But if I'm putting on stuff to get warmer, does that actually affect the measurement of my body temperature? It's is there actually a change, or am I just maintaining the body temperature that I have? So I'm wearing minimal layers right now. I'm in a YouTube appropriate attire, but I'm going to be putting on more and more layers to try to see, does that actually raise my temperature? And to help keep it on brand for this channel, they're going to be knitted and crocheted things. Many of them will have been made by me, but not all of them are. And yeah, that's the video. I'm just gonna be putting on a bunch of clothing and seeing if the feeling of being warmer will actually translate to actually being warmer. So we're gonna start by taking my temperature. This claims to take it in 5 seconds, and it's pretty clear. So let's turn it on. Go. And hold here for a moment. 97.7, which is lower than 98.6, which is the typical temperature that humans are supposed to be, but that's normal for me. Actually, I am very rarely 98.6. Quite often I'm 96.8. But yeah, so that's our starting line, 97.7. And now we're going to start layering clothes, and we're going to start with the bottom. And by bottom, I mean my feet. I've got only one pair of socks in here if I can find them. Yeah. Here you got my pair of socks. I haven't made too many socks, actually. I don't have too many socks. Because I found out I really noticed some of the stitches. Like with this pair of socks, I noticed the stitches, so yeah, it's on now. I've made more socks, but some of them fell apart. And also I gave some of them away. My very first pair of socks were too big, so I gave them to my sister. And then I think next, I think we're going to go from the bottom on our way up. Next, we're going to put on the only bottom piece that I have, which is my mermaid tail. This is the project that forced me to learn how to crochet properly. Mom got me a pattern at the local Joann's for it, and it was meant for little kids, but I adjusted it for adults, and I kind of went overboard. I also left holes in the bottom so I could walk around in it, but without having to like do a bunny hop. It's more of a shuffle. Anyway, you can see it went kind of overkill. I can sit back down now. And now we're going to go for these sweaters and vests and things like that. So we're going to start with the lowest layer. This is a wool sweater. Pretty thin yarn. It's more of a cardigan. It looks nice, but I don't wear it quite frequently because thing I don't like making clothing out of wool is, even if it isn't actually itchy, I will automatically think, oh, it's wool, and start thinking that I'm itchy. Which is kind of ironic considering I'm literally descended from shepherds. Like, my grandfather emigrated from Ireland, where his family used to own sheep and had a weaving business. I don't know what he would think about that, but I can't really remember having a conversation with that particular grandparent because he was 8 when I was 8 when he died. And most of the time we spent actually living with him, I was nonverbal. Then we're going to put on, this sweater. I made this sweater. There's a hole in it that I know I need to fix, but we're not going to worry about that right now. You've seen me wear this one in other videos. Am I putting it on correctly? Yeah. Also wool. There we go. This might have been a looser layer I could have put on top, but and then we're going to go with this sweater. So I did not make this sweater. I kept it, though. Actually, you know, that one's a little bit bigger, I think. I'm going to go with a slightly tighter sweater, and then I'm going to tell you about that sweater. So this sweater actually has a very important connection to the yarn that I often use for my example yarn. At work, somebody once said, once found out I was saying, it's like, hey, you want some yarn? I was like, yeah, sure. It's like, I got some yarn for you. It's like, cool. And then I found out she was a smoker, and the yarn really reeked of smoke, which was a nightmare, but it's like, I really want this yarn, so I put it through the wash, and I got rid of the smell. But once the yarn's been, like, inhalate, like, once it's absorbed smoke, you can, like, only use it for certain things, which is why I often use that skein for like my example purposes, because I can't use it to make any gifts that I give away to like animals or babies or whatnot. But it's like a nice acrylic yarn, and the colors were so vibrant, like. And then this is a sweater my dad got while in Ireland. He went with his family, like his parents, when he was 18. They were going back. It was definitely a let's go visit family trip, not let's explore what Ireland is all about trip. But I've kept, like, Dad gave it to me so I could, like, study the knitting patterns, and I can kind of figure out, how to make these cables. This is also wool. Oh, okay. Woo. All right. We're going to put this over like this. I'm definitely starting to feel warmer up top. My feet are still freezing. Okay. I don't know if this sweater is going to fit. This is, this was made from a pattern I got with my knitting friends. The goal was to make the sweater in like 4 days. I think it took me, or like in a day or something like that. It took me a little bit longer, but it still took like less than a week. I don't like how the front goes because it kind of comes too low and it doesn't quite hang on. But I love how it feels because it's cotton. It doesn't itch and it's like so warm. And then this is a vest. I bought a pattern book simply to make this pattern. I made it out of cotton yarn. I kind of wear the vest as a shirt on my own now. And it was definitely a more masculine pattern. But gender roles are dead. So I made it for me. Ooh, okay. Putting that on, it felt very much like a big guy in a tiny coat. Like, look, I'm starting to get, like, the boob gap here. I never get boob gap with this one. It's, like, super loose. Anyway, that's all the sweaters I have. So now we're going to do hats. I have a couple different hats here. How? Okay. Come out. Come out. Don't ruin my knitted thing here. Okay. Okay. I had an interloper. This is a bra hanger. I don't know how it got caught in the blanket, but it did. So, bad hanger. I want the other hat first though. Okay. So I brought up 3 different hats with me. I had 4, but I didn't think the 4th one would fit. So, this hat was my very first cable project ever. I love this hat to death. You can see it looks kind of worn. And then I lost it. And I thought I gave it away. And it's like, I missed the style of the hat. So I made another one. Which is an update on that. Anyway, I get jokes that I'm like wearing a brain when I wear this. But the new hat is actually smaller. So I'm going to put that one on first. And then we're going to put on the old one over that. Ooh. So you can barely see. Okay. And then we're going to top it off with a beret. So funny thing, I'm actually a big fan of hats. I haven't been wearing hats too much recently because I've been dyeing my hair and I want to show off like my colored hair. But I can rock a good hat. And when I was younger, I fell in love with berets. It was like part of the Girl Scout uniform for brownies, and I wanted a beret, but then I didn't start wearing a hat until I was in juniors, and that was a bucket hat. So I rocked a mean bucket hat for years. And then, so like I figured out how to knit this beret. I was ultimately somewhat unsatisfied with how it turned out because it's a little bit too loose. But it works out. I got yarn in my mouth. Anyway, like, yeah, I love a good hat. I really love a good hat. It does take a fine line to make sure I don't look too dorky in the hat. But, yeah, those are our 3 hats. And now we're going to go with scarves. I have made none of these scarves. Personally, I'm not a big fan of making scarves because I just find them boring. I also think scarves are a terrible first project because you have the one stitch you don't get to cast off, and so you have to wait a long time to finish your project. And also you don't get practice casting on and casting off, which is one of the harder parts once you actually like learn it. But this I think was made by my 5th grade teacher. So we're just going to wrap it around for me here. My mom was really big into making scarves at one point though, especially with like this furry yarn. Like anyone who like grew up in a craft store is going to recognize like this eyelash yarn. It was like such a big novelty yarn when I was younger. Okay. came about. I don't even remember seeing this before today, honestly. But I know I must have seen it. Then we got another one here, which I think may have also been made by my 5th grade teacher for my mom. There you go. And then this is a crocheted scarf. I don't know where this came from, but here we go. All right. Ooh. I'm like so hot right now. Hope I'm turning some of you on. That's cringe. I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, we have 2 blankets left. So I'm going to put on the smaller blanket first, which I think I kind of have to stand up to do. And then I'm going to put on the bigger blanket, which, there you go. Ooh. I can feel the mermaid tail kind of falling down. All right. Oh, hat's over my eyes. Ah. It's a good thing I'm not at work right now. I am not mobile enough for work. Okay. This is a blanket. This is a blanket that my mame made for me. Mame is my maternal grandmother. I was told that was French for grandmother. I don't know if that actually is or not, but that's what I called her. Anyway, she made one of these blankets for all of her grandkids. She made like a white square and then a green square. Well, for me it was green. For the rest of the grandkids, it was their favorite color. And then she had like this beautiful scallop edge. Anyway, there was that. The last one was my adventure into nooking. Nooking is when you knit with a crochet needle, which for people who love crochet and have trouble knitting, it's a way for them to access it. But as someone who found knitting easier than crochet, I found it a little bit more complicated way to do things. Anyway, I made like a bunch of squares that were left over from when I made my sister the Doctor Who scarf. How do I even put this around me now? Okay. I made this specifically to be like a blah kind of blanket. So that way, if I wanted to like go on a picnic with somebody, or like I could just put this on the ground and not worry about it. Mom was like, this blanket's too nice. Don't do that. Okay. So now I am wrapped in everything. I'm feeling kind of sweaty. I guess I should take my temperature now, huh? So, let's try it again. Without humming copyrighted music. Is it copyrighted? Well, that experiment was a fail. I told you guys 97.7, right? Now it says 97.5. I feel hotter. How did my temperature go down? Okay. So off. I guess let's try again. I refuse to believe that's the result. $97.2. What? How? Yeah, we're gonna try again in like 5 minutes. I'll be back. Okay, I'm like nearly dying from heat. I forgot to check the time, so I don't know if it's been 5 minutes yet or not. I don't feel very on top of things, but I'm not at work, so I don't have to be on top of things right now. I can just be a goofball. Anyway, we're going to try the temperature again and see if we get the result we're expecting. No! We went down to 79.0. So somehow, either the thermometer doesn't work, or my temperature is actually going down wearing less of this stuff, which I guess I'll have to perform this experiment at a later date. But for now, we'll just call this a fail. How about that? Not everything has to work. Anyway, let's get that out of my eyes. Ugh. Let's just get this off my neck. There you go. Oof. Okay, that's much better at least. Anyway, that was today's entertainment. I don't know what we learned. I don't think we learned anything, honestly, but have a nice day.